Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing super well. If you are new here, my name is Zarina and I am an artist. So as you can see by the title of today's video, I am doing some florals. It's like a botanical type of theme. We have some different types of flowers and a statue as well. I've actually been kind of obsessed with drawing statues lately, which you guys will see in some upcoming stuff. Instead of my A5 sketchbook that I've been using lately, I'm using an A4 one instead because I wanted to do something on a bit of a larger scale. This one I got from Amazon. It has 60 sheets in there and it's 180 GSM, and I also really like the fact that it has serrated edges so you can rip your artwork out really cleanly as well. So I'm using Ohuhu markers for this. If you guys haven't seen my latest 2 videos, I will link them in the cards below so you guys can check those out as well. They're very similar to this, just like different themes. I've been doing like food and fruit themes, however I wanted to do something a little bit different and switch it up and give you guys some flowers, which I really enjoyed doing, and it's probably one of my favorite things to draw. And I'm going to try not to talk loads in this video just so you guys can either get on with your own artwork and have me on in the background, or you can just watch with like a cup of tea or something. I started off with trying to get all the colours that I'm using and making sure that I am using my little colour sheet to check exactly what colours I need to use. If you've seen my other artworks, you know that I have an issue with colours and finding the right colours specifically. I didn't do too bad in this video, however the roses, which you will see kind of like later on in the video, I did struggle with colours for the roses in particular, just because there are certain colours that I just didn't have access to. However, that didn't stop me from getting it done, and you guys will see that towards like the end of the video. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also added washi tape this time just so I can get like a really clean edge, because I want to do backgrounds for all 3 of these drawings, which always gives like a satisfying neatness to each piece, which I only ever really use when I'm painting, so it was really nice to do it with the markers this time as well. I'm working on these tulips on the bottom right. I didn't want too many colours going on with this. I just wanted the pink and the yellow to really stand out, with a few daisies at the bottom and then a random orange tulip at the bottom as well. And then later on you'll see me kind of go in and add some flowers into the background just to kind of finish it off. But I love the background colour, it's such a pretty green. This one I'm working on here is probably my favorite one out of all three of them, just because of the statue and the flowers that I think I pulled off pretty well. Because I wanted to keep them really light colored, and because I knew I was going to color the background, I wasn't too worried about trying to make them overly stand out. So I think I just naturally put the colors that I would have because I didn't have to think about the background. My little statue lady here, she looks super cute. I really love how she turned out, and she looks a bit stressed now that I'm watching this back, but I'm not entirely sure what type of facial expression I was going for. I think I wanted her to kind of look like she was in deep thought, which I think she does look like that, but also quite stressed at the same time. I had the perfect colors for the statue, and I think that's why I love it so much, because it came out exactly how I had envisioned it. And I do go over a few things with darker colours throughout this artwork, just so I can get close to what I can see in my head. And I really like that about markers, and as long as you kind of have a colour that is light enough, you can pretty much go over it as many times as you want with something darker. And I think the blue background tied it together so nicely and made everything stand out. Oh, and I also added shadows to each of these pieces as well, just a few shadows to kind of make the main pieces stand out a little bit more. So I'm moving on to the roses. I wanted some leaves to be a bit more like yellowy, and then most of the leaves, or the rest of them, to be a bit darker and more green, but it's a bit more of like a bluey sea green, which I thought was quite different and it looked really nice. Anyway, I started off using this colour first, but I do end up covering it with some darker colours that are of a similar shade. It didn't quite go to plan just because the end shade that I used was a bit patchy and not as smooth as the others. Like, the pen was quite hard because it's just not a colour that I use much, so it came out a little bit patchy. And then, as usual, I'm kind of like switching between if I feel like I've missed something or I want to add something to any of the other ones, I'll just kind of do that and then go back and forth. So for the roses, I did not have the colour that I wanted, so I ended up using one of my Tombow dual brush pens in the shade 990. However, I quickly realised that I had probably made a mistake using this, because when I was colouring it in, because of the texture of the paper, it just wasn't smooth at all, and there were like lines and it just didn't look smooth. But I did my best to kind of blend colours and shadows to kind of take away from the fact that there are so many lines. And yeah, for the shadows, I feel like it looked good at the beginning when I first started using it. However, I think the tone was off, but that was the closest colour I had to the first marker I used after adding like the base colour. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting some more Ohuhu markers to add to my collection, so I just have a bigger range of shades, like in between and middle shades. Yeah, this is me kind of adding that darker shade of green, and I think it's such a beautiful colour, but like I said, it was just a bit patchy. so I did my best to kind of blend it out with the mid-tone color that I used, just to get it as smooth as possible and just as blended as possible. And I've kind of skipped through the leaves just because there's so many of them, and I'm pretty much doing the same thing over and over again, just adding color and blending and leaving some space so that I have contrast and highlights. Of course, I'm adding detail to everything that you see here, and also outlining it with my black pencil to give things much more contrast and to just help them stand out from each other. I'm adding my background for the roses. I thought I'd go with like a warm red grey type of tone. I wanted to keep all the background colours quite light and pastel-y so that they didn't take away from any of the main drawings, and I'm really happy with everything and how it came out. 100% I've learned from this, which I do with every single marker video, and I am looking forward to doing my next one, which will probably be more food. I'm finally adding some highlights with my Jelly Roll pen in 08, which I think is the thickest one. They have like 05 and, oh no, I think it's maybe 10. That's the thickest one. Anyway, that is the end of this video, and now I'm taking off the tape, which was very satisfying. And you'll also see my color test sheet, which I'm gonna start showing in all of the videos because it's absolutely crazy the amount of colors that I test on this paper. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, whether you just chilled and watched me draw or got on with your own art. Please be sure to like the video, just because it really helps out the channel, and it also tells the algorithm / YouTube that this is good content. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content from me, and I shall see you guys in my next one very, very soon. Take care, guys.